Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums today with this week's weekly check-in reading for the week of December 1st through Saturday, December 6th, I believe it'll be. I want to say thank you so much for joining me here. I really hope that you enjoyed these little videos. And this one hopefully will not be so lengthy. I'm dealing with another cold, so I'm going to apologize for sounding so raspy, but I wanted to still try to make a video. So let's see what we need to know as a collective for this week. So what do we need to know? So we have the Ace of Cups, right? What do we need to do as a collective? We have the Four of Wands reversed. What do we need to release as a collective? We have Temperance. And then what do we need to contemplate as a collective? The Seven of Cups reversed. All right, and I'm going to pull a little elemental empath card as well. And yes, it did break a nail, which is very sad. So we have Surrender and Flow. And then we're going to pull a Moon Messages card because yesterday was the Sagittarius new moon. Let's see what we need to know as a collective. Cleansing. All right. Cool. So let's get started on this reading for this week. I can't believe it's already December 2024. That is crazy, right? I don't know if you guys have kind of felt like this year has just been weird. All right, let's there we go. All right, so the very first card we have here is going to be what we need to know. And this is the Ace of Cups. So with this, I feel like this is almost saying like maybe there's an opportunity for some different things to kind of open up for us, whether that's new opportunities, whether it's like, kind of going out into the world with a little bit more of an intention to be receptive and open to the different creative things that are kind of coming into our lives, whether that's relationships, whether that's partnerships, whether that's just, really connecting with others in new ways. And so we may feel like there is a highlight within the connections and relationships that we have going on around us, whether that is to just kind of expand a little bit more on what it is that we're trying to do and what it is that we are prioritizing at this time. And so I feel like with the energy of this card, we are being kind of driven to understand how we really truly feel about certain things. Now, we do have Mercury in retrograde. So that can be one of these things where maybe we're reflecting on our relationships, our connections, how we communicate, how we connect with others. And those are also things that are kind of encapsulated by the energy of the cups, which is our feelings, our intuition, our connections, our relationships. And so it is very much about, what we actually really feel. And I think with the Ace of Cups, as far as what we need to know is that maybe we need to kind of be more open to that energy and being more aware of what that means for us in the long term and how we can really be a little bit more focused on what is going on regarding this kind of element of ourselves. So this week may be one where we're focusing a little bit more on our emotions, on how we're showing up, or maybe there is a little bit of this sense of redirecting some of this energy to be a little bit more focused on, our connections, our relationships. So our cup may be flowing over this week with things that we need to kind of keep in mind. Now, as far as what we need to do, we have the Four of Wands reversed. Now, this is usually a card of like joy and stability and celebrations and coming together and kind of taking some time out to, look at the milestones that we've met, really looking at what we've completed and really establishing what we desire in so many different aspects of our lives. Since this is a more spiritually minded kind of energy here, there may be some things that we're kind of internalizing. Maybe we're wanting to take a step back and not be around everybody else, or letting everybody else's influence be something that kind of derails us from what we would like to do. So, I mean, it makes sense. A lot of us maybe have been with family over the last week. And so now we're wanting to kind of get back into our routines, kind of get back to what makes us feel a little bit more whole in our schedules and in our routines. I think the other thing with the Four of Wands reverse is that maybe it's kind of saying that this isn't a time to feel pressured to kind of do something that maybe feels a little bit out of your comfort zone. The thing with the Four of Wands, or just the wands in general, is that they are fire. They are the energy of creativity and passion and drive and momentum and travel. So there may be some delays with travel, which again, that makes sense with Mercury being in retrograde. Maybe there's some plans will not really come through the way that we had anticipated. Maybe our plans will change. So there may be this kind of realization of being a little bit more flexible. So maybe travel times will change. Maybe some of our plans are not really coming together the way that we thought they were going to. So there is a little bit of maybe a lack of congruency with what it is that we're doing. Now, the other thing with this kind of energy, I feel like the Four of Wands, especially reverse, can feel like maybe other people are not celebrating with us, or maybe we're not finding that support with others around us at this current time. So we may feel like it's hard for us to kind of share openly what we've experienced and what we're doing. And so there is a little bit of this kind of like push and pull kind of energy that I kind of am getting with this. And I think that's why we also have what we need to release is Temperance, which this is actually the card of Sagittarius. And Temperance is very much this energy of like harmony and balance and kind of being aware of two different elements that maybe don't always make sense to try to create something new. As we can see here, we have the fire and the ice creating smoke. So there may be a sense of not really seeing things quite so clearly because maybe we're having to learn how to alchemize something here. Maybe we're having to learn how to bring different things together. And as far as what we need to release is that maybe we need to release control over what that will look like. Maybe we've been too focused on trying to keep everything in alignment, keep everything balanced, trying to make everybody comfortable. And I think with Temperance here is that maybe we need to kind of surrender to the idea that just because we're putting it together doesn't always mean that we know what it's going to look like at the end. And so maybe there's a lot of different things that we've been focusing on, stressed about, and we maybe just need to kind of surrender a little bit of that sense of control and just let it be what it needs to be. I know that it's challenging to not feel like if you're not consistently pushing towards something, then things are not going to come together the way that they're supposed to. And I think with Temperance here, especially with the Four of Wands, with what we need to do, the Four of Wands reversed, is that maybe we've been too focused on how we are establishing everything for everybody else, or maybe we're too focused on, what we need to do in order to make other people happy. And so I think with the Temperance card here, we just have a little bit of this sense of what we need to release is this sense of trying to keep everything in order, trying to make everything comfortable for everybody else. Maybe this isn't a time to try to find balance, and maybe this isn't a time to try to make everything work out. Maybe it is really about making our choice and kind of sticking with it and letting it be what it is and allowing that to be the change that's necessary as we kind of move into the next thing. I think with Temperance, because it is a major card, this may be a big thing that's kind of coming up for a lot of us, where we're having to kind of be aware of, what are we focusing on and where are we putting a lot of our energy into? Because not everything that we have been wanting to do is always going to be what is necessary for us at that time. And I know as the holiday season continues to ramp up, a lot of us put a lot of pressure on trying to be there for everybody else. So I think with this Temperance card being here, as far as what we need to release, is that maybe we need to understand that there's just some things that we're not going to be able to do. There's just some things that we're not going to be able to meet. And it isn't about trying to do it or trying to find the balance in order to do so. Maybe the best thing that you can do here is just take some time out for yourself and really reconnect with what it is that you need, instead of trying to kind of make everybody else happy or feel like you have to kind of show up in the ways that make everybody else comfortable. Now, finally, with what we need to contemplate, we have the Seven of Cups reversed. Again, this is a card of like choices and illusions and daydreams. Now, this being reversed, this can just maybe suggest that we've been too focused on what comes next or what we should be doing, or maybe we feel a little bit trapped because maybe we're not receiving as many options or choices at the current moment. And so there is a little bit of a hesitation, so to speak, with what that will look like moving forward. And I think a lot of people, as we're kind of nearing the end of the year, we start to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to kind of look at, well, what have I done? What has been completed? What do I need to do? What does this look like? And I think the Seven of Cups reversed here, especially as far as like what we need to contemplate, is that maybe not everything that's been offered to us is exactly what we need, or maybe not everything that we have experienced this year is something that we needed to like really sift through. Sometimes an experience is just that. It's just something that's like here and there, and that's it. It doesn't need to be something that is like so well thought out of and journaled about and this, that, and the other. And I feel like with the Seven of Cups reverse is that maybe there's a lot of emotions that we've kind of blocked. And so we need to kind of take some time to contemplate, like, how do we really feel about the things that have been presented to us? Just because we have options doesn't always mean that the options that are presented before us are, going to be the things that we were looking for. And I know it can be very challenging, especially when we feel like we're being given an opportunity in some way, but it's not really giving us the option that we would most prefer. And I think with this, it's just really saying that maybe it's okay to feel like not all of the options before you are going to be what you really want or how you want things to be. Since we have so many of these kind of cups energies, I think it's interesting that we also have this like surrender and flow card, which is telling you to ride the waves, tap into the flow state, and let go. I think that this is, this kind of energy of just really understanding that we really can't control anything. And I know it's easier said than done to understand it. And I think with the surrender and flow card here, we're just being given an opportunity to kind of say, like, okay, maybe we need to kind of move on from certain aspects or certain goals that we've had. Maybe there's certain things that really haven't worked out for our benefit, even if it doesn't always feel that way, especially when you're in the middle of rejection or an ending or a breakup or something just not really coming together. It can be very challenging to not take it personally and not feel like you're the one that had to do something with that in order for it to shift and change. Now, I think with the surrender and flow card is that maybe this week is going to bring us some challenges that will feel like we're having to make these choices and trying to make the balance and this and that and whatever. And this is almost saying, like, just flow with it. Surrender and flow. Don't try to control anything. Don't try to feel like you have to make the best choice out of whatever's being presented to you at this time. I think that this is overall just kind of a reminder that maybe there are some things that you just have to let be and just let them show up how they're going to show up and not overthink it and not question yourself so much. So I think surrender and flow is that maybe this week is one of those where we just have to kind of be where we're at and not try to explain it, not try to feel like we have to have it all figured out, and not feel pressured to understand what this is going to look like for everybody. And finally, for our little moon message, we have cleansing. I think that cleansing is maybe something that we tend to forget to do. I know, like, for today's December 1st, so I like to do my prosperity practices, kind of, recharging things, cleansing things first before I kind of invite in the next phase of prosperity. So I think that cleansing is something that should be done more regularly and often, whether it's cleansing of your soul, cleansing of yourself, cleansing of your space, cleansing of your tools. And I think with cleansing, this is maybe just a reminder, again, so that things feel a little bit more balanced, so that they feel a little bit more like you're ready to kind of celebrate and use them in the ways that you need to. So maybe this is a call for you to take some time out, maybe today if you can, if you're watching this on Sunday. I don't know if you use Sundays to kind of prepare for the week, maybe this is a good time to kind of cleanse and connect and kind of like get your energy back to yourself. So salt is very cleansing, taking some time out to kind of dust and, sweep your floors, wash your doors, things like that. Those are things that I like to kind of do to kind of call in prosperity, to call in abundance, to call in the next phase of things that I would like in my life moving forward. So I think that this is more of a reminder that maybe it's time for us to really cleanse so that we can surrender and flow in the things, and we can find a better balance between the choices that are being presented to us, because we will feel more grounded and rooted in what we are and what we need. So I hope that you enjoyed this weekly reading. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices. Bye.